What up? What up? What up? It's Rec League Podcast, man. It's episode number 84. My name is Randy Little. Happy Easter to everybody out there celebrating. On this episode, man, Ambulance came out. Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Isaac Gonzalez, directed by Michael Bay. So, we show some love to Gilbert Gottfried, talk a little bit about some Harry Potter, but the main topic of discussion on this episode is Michael Bay, the good, the bad, the in-between. And the regular panel, Eric Sigmund, Melissa, Nick Goodman. And we just, as usual, chop it up, have some fun. Hopefully y'all getting the likes, the dislikes, the reactions. No matter where you listening to Rec League, man, give us some feedback. It's appreciated. Wherever you listening, because I know some magical way Rec League gets it in on other countries, man. So over the past couple weeks, theatrically, we have had Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as I said, Ambulance came out, Everything Everywhere All at Once came out. This past weekend, Father Stew came out. That was a Wednesday release. Mark Wahlberg, true story. And then Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Upcoming, you got The Bad Guys, the new DreamWorks animated release, and then The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, one of my most anticipated movies all year. Nicolas Cage, having fun, chewing the scenery. And then, let me see, the next episode being on May 1st means April 29th. I want to say the Liam Neeson movie Memory comes out. It'll probably come out in like 5 theaters, but directed by Martin Campbell. I can't say I'm not interested in it. And in physical media, man, the past couple weeks, Scream came on Blu-ray. Death on the Nile came on Blu-ray. Parallel Mothers. This past Tuesday, I believe Spider-Man No Way Home came out. Come on. That looks like Joaquin Phoenix, A24. And then Chucky Season 1 came out. The TV show came out on Blu-ray, DVD. Upcoming, Jackass Forever is coming out. Siriano is coming out. The King's Daughter is coming out. And then it looks like Moonfall comes out the last week of the month. Orange County is getting a Blu-ray. A couple catalog, like Paramount catalog movies. The Beautician and the Beast, Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. When I worked at the theater in high school, that was there. But yeah, man, stay tuned, man, because it was a really fun discussion this episode, man. Whether you want good pods, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, watching on YouTube, ride it out with us. It's Rec League. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Was that close?
Yeah, that was real good.
All right. I didn't know if I was going to sound like you, but I was trying to get the wording down. My guy, Eric Sigmund. Check out that Bruce Willis episode he just dropped. Melissa, Nicholas were here last time. Eric was not. Fuck. Before we got into the main topic, I had an idea of what we were going to, touch upon it first. So here comes my second bad impression of the episode. Now let's talk about Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh man.
Wow, Randy, king of impression.
I'm trying, man. This is like my safe space that eventually I put into the whole world. I can act the ass and get made fun of later. Yeah, man, he passed away earlier this week. I really only know him as Iago from Aladdin.
Right, I was thinking
legendary role, but Eric posted he was in Beverly Hills Cop 2. Wasn't he in Problem Child?
Oh yeah, he was all over the place. Somebody posted he had a funny scene in How to Be a Player. He popped up everywhere.
I thought of him in a movie that nobody ever talks about, A Million Ways to Die in the West, where he played Abraham Lincoln for like
just randomly, yeah.
He was like, I don't think that's the president. That was funny. The stuff like that is always funny.
Yeah.
And I want to ask y'all, are y'all familiar with Up All Night?
USA Up All Night, bro.
Yeah, that's it. And for a lot of years, he was the host, co-host, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, and that was
Duckman. Was the critic on Up All Night?
And once upon a time, I want to think it was. It seemed like it would be, but definitely Duckman.
I was like 7 years old watching like all these adult animated cartoons and shit.
No, we all did it.
Silk Stockings, New York Undercover.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried was the host from 89 to 98.
Damn.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it came on that long. But, I don't know. There was a documentary that came out a couple of years ago about him. I don't know if you all saw it.
I didn't even know he was sick.
But I remembered it when I read all the news. I was like, damn. I thought of that. I was like, man, I remember a couple of years ago it was a documentary. I should have watched it. I still can't. I mean, there's no like law that says I can't. I probably will. But if you ever watch, to me, it was like, I don't know if I've ever watched like one of his like long stand-up specials or anything like that, but it was always like whenever he was a guest on something, he stole the show of like whatever he was on. Yeah. Like if you've ever seen like the classic Hollywood Squares that he was on, it's like the one that everyone talks about where he's like yelling "you fool" at the people because they keep losing like 7-8 times in a row. And then it was weird. I thought the same thing with Norm Macdonald. It was like when I read the news, I immediately thought of one of the Comedy Central roasts. Yeah. But he did the roast of Roseanne on Comedy Central. And like those are always like pretty funny. But like he got up and did his thing and like obliterated everyone up. Like there was like people like Anthony Jeselnik and like Amy Schumer, like people that usually like try to go hard on everybody at those things. Like they're like holding their sides, like crying, laughing at his like day. And that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, I need to go back and rewatch that because I remember it like killing me. And then so it's like stuff. And then like the Aristocrats, like if you ever watched that documentary about like the joke that everyone says, his was like the loudest, like dirtiest version of the joke.
Yes.
And now I'm molting.
And that's funny, you keep doing that, but
I gotta watch that again.
There's a clip out there. So y'all know that's an act, right? His voice.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I didn't for a long time.
A lot of people don't really. He has a very. I don't know if you ever heard his real voice. Anybody?
Yeah. Have you seen the Mike Breen State Farm commercial with Chris Paul?
Chris Paul. No, I haven't.
So you know it's not his real announcing voice, right? Or like Chappelle doing the Al Roker.
Oh yeah.
Is this something like that?
It's they have to look it up. It's the polar is opposite. It's very deep. You wouldn't think it'd be his voice, but
I heard it. It was like Howard Stern.
Like that's the clip.
Message on Howard Stern's answering machine.
The voicemail.
Actually, this is my natural speaking voice.
Yeah, I don't think we probably never will see any video footage of him talking with his real voice. So he give him kudos. He died with his act. For those of you that are around my age, remember Bobcat Goldthwait?
That's a high age.
And his for the longest time he talked that like I can't do it at all. And he just showed up and just was talking normal one day. And,
Mr. Cross?
Yeah. And
I used to do it when I was a kid. He played the voice of the thing on Hercules.
Yeah.
And I used to like do that as a kid, but it would always make me cough. Like I could do the voice. Then I'd be
and not to get too far away from Gilbert, but you brought up Scrooged with Bobcat in it. And you're like, this gonna really scare a lot of people.
Yeah.
He was 26 in that movie.
God.
That's a hard 26.
That's a hard 26.
He was having a really hot minute around then because I remember my parents renting those VHSs and he was in so many movies at that time.
Yeah, he had a streak,
He had this big,
Oh man, but yeah, so yeah, about that voice, I guess we'll never really see him. And
this is like the Theranos scandal. I didn't know that there was a different voice out there.
Yeah.
I hope people start making fun of her more, because it's so funny.
It is. It is.
Every
funny.
time I check, I'm like, oh, not this show again.
Oh man. But yeah, have any of you all? I think Randy said it. Saw his like full length stand up at Gilbert Gottfried.
Maybe when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm lying if I say I've ever seen like an entire special. Like I don't know.
I would hope not.
Special,
he was because he's
but
rough.
I've seen him do stand up.
I just remember we would watch a lot of that channel, whatever where all the stand ups were on.
And I meant to check Andrew Dice Clay's social media or whatever, because Gilbert Gottfried, I don't know if you all know, would make fun of Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, I was still like he had like this.
Yeah, he would dedicate entire like stretches of his act to making fun of Andrew Dice Clay's act.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Dice Clay act is the Dice Man is an Italian stereotypical, and but yeah, it's funny.
He even voiced Iago on the Aladdin TV show.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like the Kingdom Hearts video games and shit like that. Like it was like.
Wasn't it a big deal? Paychecks. It was a big deal when the live action didn't bring him back, right?
Kind of like.
Oh yeah, people brought that up. Yeah.
Why? Yeah. I wonder why.
I guess because it was a voice acting role, kind of, and was it?
No, but why wouldn't they bring him back?
Wasn't it like Alan Tudyk just making noises? Iago didn't really have dialogue.
There was a controversy that really, I don't know if you could say he really never recovered from. Because, he was the Aflac insurance duck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something happened. I'm not even sure what happened, but they fired him.
There was a tsunami in Japan.
Yes, that's it.
And he tweeted, like, a couple jokes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it was just, like, too soon. Like, it was, like, one of those things that was, like, too soon. And he was like, I don't care. And it was just enough that he lost his... Probably wouldn't happen now. Maybe it would. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of depends, but
no wonder I saw a tweet that said he died just as he was, like too soon. Someone said that's his type of humor.
Yeah, and he'd always had something to say, but now it's unfortunate he loses. And what is it in the last 4 months?
Oh yeah.
It was like Norm Macdonald passed in September. And it's like ever since then, it's like we keep losing people from that generation specifically. Like
Bob Saget, Louis Anderson,
work together,
and everybody. I don't know if it's. The funny thing is, I guess the irony is they would love the type of humor. There's a picture with who's Ross, the roast master?
Yeah, Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross, Bob Saget. McDonald and Gilbert Gottfried, and people are putting their own little jokes in that picture, like he's the main suspect,
oh.
and that he better watch out and somebody protect Ross. But that fits with their type of humor.
Someone did a tweet that they're killing all of the parents from Seinfeld, but I mean, at least they lived to be at least 90
the mom
years
did
old.
Just pass
they had a long, wonderful lives,
Yeah. That's crazy. But yes, I think Beverly Hills Cop 2, in my opinion, is his best cameo. Because he showed up and man, it's just countless stuff. But R.I.P. to him.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't really have any Harry Potter thing to talk about. I was just gonna throw it out there, why are all the Harry Potter movies so consistently good?
It pisses me off. I don't even know why. Like when I watch it, I'm like, fuck. Like I want one of these to be I don't know. It's like it shouldn't be 8 movies, and they're all good. Like they're all as good as one another. Like some of them are better. Like there's not one that's oh, this is the one that kind of sucks. See, shit. This one's good too.
I definitely don't think it sucks, and I know we on opposite ends on this shit, but I feel like Half-Blood Prince is too calm until the third act. It's really chill, and then shit hits the fan in the third act, leading into Deathly Hallows.
I love that one more over time. I remember seeing it, thinking it was really good, but like when I watch it like in a full thing, I'm always like, good Lord, that's good. Like, I don't know, like just runs me over like a child. Like every time I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. Like it needs to be quiet for like 2 hours so that last like 20 minutes can like kick your ass.
And it does.
Yeah, it's so good. And there's something about that one, like
really good.
The cinematography in that one is like different than the other movies. There's just like something weird about that one that like always gets me when I watch it. Like
Half-Blood
like,
Prince you talking about?
Yeah, like it was the first 3 were PG, and then 4 and 5 were PG-13.
Prisoner of Azkaban was PG.
And for some reason, Half-Blood Prince was PG again. And every time I watch it, I'm like, this one's more fucked up than the 5th one. It's like darker and weirder. I don't know. There's something about it. Like when I watch it, I'm like, I love this one. And then the ending comes, which I won't spoil for anyone that hasn't seen it. Then the ending, like that whole like climax, like the whole final act is just like
gut punch.
Oh my God, like it's crazy. Like I put it up there with like any of the other ones, like when you talk about like any of like the big Star Wars moments or the big Lord of the Rings moments. I'm like, dude, remember how?
So how about this? How many people knew that moment was coming? And then y'all read the books before the movies?
I had read
haven't.
Half-Blood Prince before them. That was the first time I had read the book before the movie. And I was still like, holy shit. Because I remember reading the book, like trying to catch up on the book. Like I was like, I've never been that big a reader, but I was like, dude, I really want to read the book so I can form my own thing and be up to date, like with the movies. And I remember like, what's his name? Jim Broadbent got cast as Slughorn. I'm thinking like, that's perfect cast. Like I remember at the time being like, oh, he's gonna be so good. And he was. But then I fell off, like I didn't read Deathly Hallows in time, so.
Have you both read all the books now?
I don't think I ever read Deathly Hallows from start to finish, I'll be honest.
I have seen them all in the theater.
I own all the
books. So Randy, you haven't read the book? Oh wow, I just
any of them?
No.
I assumed that you did for some reason.
Do I look like a reader?
Well, I thought you really liked Harry Potter, so I thought that meant the whole kit and caboodle.
The story goes.
I remember
you got to go to Florida to visit, have you some butterbeer.
The story goes, Deathly Hallows Part 1 was coming, and my wife was like, I want to see this. Let's go see Harry Potter. And at the time, I was on some ignorant Harry Potter is like some nerd shit. I'm not watching this. and then she convinced me to watch the previous 6.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, I'm in.
Man, you got into it that late.
I've been there with other pop culture. I know what that is like. Yeah.
Like I like the franchise so much now. I just watched them all in the theater. I just watched 13 movies in 11 days at the theater.
Yeah.
Most of those are Wizarding World movies.
But it was like Harry Potter hit when I was like 8, 9, 10, something like that. Everybody was reading the books. And I was like, all right, I'll try to, like, my school library got the books in, so I was like, hell yeah, I'll read this. And I didn't get it at all. Like, before the movie came out, I tried to read Sorcerer's Stone and didn't get it at all. Like, I didn't understand, like, the way she wrote to me was weird.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even, like, come up with but she was like, the Dursleys were, how they would be described as perfectly normal, thank you very much, and all this stuff. And I was like, huh? Like, I was reading it, I just didn't get it. And I kept going, and then everybody had a weird name. Everything had a weird name, and, like, they tried to explain it. I was just like, this is not for me. This is weird. Then the movie came out, and I loved the first movie. So then I was like, now that I understand more, then I read Chamber of Secrets. I think I read the first book, then read Chamber of Secrets like a year later or something like that, and like understood it more. Like I was like, oh,
makes sense.
Then I kept falling off because
ADD brain. The first movie came out when I was already like 14, 15. I was like, man, this is some nerd shit. I'm not getting into this.
Right.
It was
That's
a big
crazy.
deal for me.
And it is. I saw an argument at work. The funny thing is, it was an argument where both people were absolutely 100% right. The argument was over the name of the book.
Yep.
And one person brought it up. They were like, what do you think about the Harry Potter books? Like, I just read the Philosopher's Stone. And they were like, you mean the Sorcerer's Stone? She's like, no, it's the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
Like, no, I think it's the Sorcerer's Stone. And they started like going back and forth. And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. This is literally my introduction to who Harry Potter is.
Yeah.
The only other Harry Potter I knew was from the movies in the 80s called Goblins or something.
Fuck.
There was a main character. It was some weird. It was hilarious. I'll look it up right quick. But as you all know, because Americans are stupid, they renamed the book from the Philosopher's Stone to the Sorcerer's Stone.
That's why.
Basically, without saying it, that's why they changed it, because philosophers they thought it was too of an intimidating word for the YA community.
Oh, come on, really?
I mean, Nick.
It's true. I've always heard that it was like, Sorcerer's Stone sounds better. It does. In fairness, I think Sorcerer's Stone does sound better.
So it comes off the tongue better. It rolls better.
That causes more confusion than just leaving it. Because now there's two titles. So stupid.
I've always wondered.
So in Europe, it's always philosophers. And you could buy it and ship it like Zabby. You could buy the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah. So do the overseas versions of the first movie say Philosopher's Stone instead of Sorcerer's Stone?
And I was about to get to that. They literally did a take for every time they had to say it. They had 2 takes, saying sorcerers and philosophers.
These little 10-year-old kids retaking the same shit.
Yeah. It's crazy, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay, Daniel, we're gonna do it again, but this time say philosopher.
Nope, that's just how it went. And they
showed
the clips.
That with kids too, like
Chris Columbus, you monster.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Ghostbusters. Every time they had to say Ghostbusters, they had to take 2 more takes because they didn't have the rights to the name. They had to do Ghost Stoppers and Ghost Blasters.
Jesus.
They're Hollywood, everybody.
Yeah.
It's so stupid at every turn. Everything's stupid.
Yeah.
What if they couldn't do that with Fantastic Beasts? Like, what if every time they had to reference the beast, they were like, these beasts are enormous.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Enormous
the movie I was referring to is Troll. In the movie
Whimsical
Troll
Beast.
from 1986. The main character name was Harry Potter.
Huh.
And he had to fight magical trolls.
It's probably where she got the idea.
Yeah, did she steal it?
Yeah, man.
Probably. It's kind of like the other day, like a month ago, a few weeks ago, I rewatched the movie. It was called The Lookout with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a pretty good movie. If you've never seen it, it's like a crime drama. And his name in the movie is Chris Pratt.
I heard about that.
It's like, I totally forgot that, like, when I had watched it, they were like, who's that? It's Chris Pratt. I was like, what?
That's hilarious.
They had an anniversary recently, didn't it? Is that why you watched it?
She probably legit did. All right, here it is.
Yeah, I bet she did.
Now check it out. And here is
in
order to get his
trolls people.
I think in order to get his life back as a wizard, Torek, the troll, plans to take over an apartment building. His first step is to possess a young Wendy Potter, her brother Harry, and they are the only one that can stop the unstoppable force of Torek.
She stole Harry Potter. She stole trolls being in the shit.
Breaking news.
Oh, wow.
She took everything.
Rec League Podcast, breaking news. J.K. Rowling is a
wreaks
hack.
havoc through the apartment building and starts to transform other of the building's tenants into mythical creatures, and only Harry Potter can stop him.
Wow.
1986.
So that's like a Hollywood movie?
Yeah, it's on Troll. John Carl Buechler directed
It's definitely a classic.
Yeah.
But
Troll
the funny
2
thing is, everybody remembers the sequel that is only a sequel by name. Like, they're eating her, and then he's got to eat me. Oh, my God. But listen, like, what the hell are y'all talking about?
Oh, my God.
Is that like that nerdy looking white boy like saying that shit?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Too.
I didn't know that.
Oh, man. But anyway,
stands there.
Harry Potter.
Are we ready for the Bayham?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No? Do you have an
Potter.
alternate topic?
Sorry.
Oh, man.
All right.
Definitely.
I don't know where to start. So, what is Michael Bay's best movie, and why is it the first Bad Boys?
Yes.
Well, Pearl Harbor was
How do you hang up?
right. Yeah. Man, it's
You mean Titanic in Hawaii?
I can't be mad at y'all for liking Bad Boys. Like, not at all. He came out the gate.
It's a masterpiece.
Swinging, Mike Tyson style.
That's my opinion.
And if anything had to be close, in my opinion, it would be, I think, The Rock.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Yeah.
Number 1.
So the funny thing about The Rock, I thought I liked it when I was a kid, and maybe I did. I remember it being around a lot. Maybe we saw it a few times. I don't know if I went to the theater. I feel like I was too young. I rewatched it for this podcast, man. I don't like it that much. I was pretty surprised. I even tried to watch like the more famous sequences twice. Really trying to get into it. The big car chase, the underwater submarine stuff. And I was like, I don't love this.
You bring up that car chase. I think that car chase actually makes the movie, I think it's so unnecessary. I think they should have got to the prison part quicker. That car chase is just, that seems studio mandated. Like,
I feel like that's why people like that movie, though, no?
Yeah, it's
there's no action in the first 40 minutes at this car chase.
Yeah, I think that was that type of thing.
And now that I'm an adult, I was like, what? Isn't he a chemist or something? Like, why would he be doing this car chase throughout the city? It makes no sense at all, actually. You know, it's funny now watching it at my age, being like, what the heck? He's supposed to be this chemical freak, you know, that stays in the lab, and all of a sudden he's chasing Sean Connery throughout the city, destroying all this property. Like, come on! I know it's just big dumb fun, but to me it's not logical. Whereas Bad Boys, I watched that movie and I'm like, everything makes sense in this movie. You know, like they're actually cops, though. Anyway.
How we know him now? That car chase being out of place is the essence of Michael Bay.
Yeah. That's
I guess. What's out of place in Bad Boys? That car chase makes perfect sense. Like, they have a witness, and they're chasing him to get her back.
Yeah,
like,
that's
they're police officers. Like, anyways,
no, that's the magic of what Bad Boys, the first one is. Everything fits. It's a perfect puzzle. Everything fits together.
Well, I read Will Smith's memoirs, and I do think he and Martin punched up the script, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they added in their little ad-libs and cute chemistry, and Martin insisted that Will be his co-star instead of what they wanted Dana Carvey.
Oh, yeah, what it was.
I was about to say that.
Or something.
That shit was originally John Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
Yeah, so it would have been totally different, and we can give credit to those two alongside Michael Bay, because you know, what would that script have been without all of their little jokes and what did they say at the convenience store, and a pack of bubble gum or whatever, like all those little
tropical fruit bubblicious and some Skittles,
little cute moments, you know.
And it's funny, since we're talking about Michael Bay,
freeze mother bitches.
I was just about to talk about that. He and The Rock also, Melissa brought up that chase scene, leading into that chase scene. So Michael Bay seems to do something with his characters. He seems to like to exaggerate, I guess, stereotypes.
Yes.
So in Bad Boys, like
Transformers 2,
mother bitch. And in The Rock, the barber, the stylist. This is the quote from the movie, right?
Yeah.
And you know, he likes to play it up like really to the 11.
Bro, Eric, hit that gay voice, Eric. I know that's where you was going. Hit that gay impression.
Like, the barber, the stylist, and then he was in the elevator. He likes his style of comedy when Connery was getting away. You're like, oh, what's going on? I really want to know. Do you like your haircut?
Oh yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
the script of The Rock is very silly. Like, the lines that Nicholas says, I don't know if they're partly his idea or what, but it's like, they're so over the top. And I get that that's his style, but it's crazy how it's just, what is it, just a year after Bad Boys, which seems so much more grounded in reality to me, you know?
Yeah.
Bad Boys was April 95. The Rock was June 96.
Yeah. It's just a year later, but it's a big difference.
Movie out of the movie. And then what's next? Armageddon. He just goes up and up.
Yeah.
You know?
But again, I was surprised. I rewatched Armageddon. I thought again, I was wrong. I thought I liked Deep Impact more. No, I actually prefer Armageddon.
I think Armageddon is. No, go ahead. Sorry, Melissa.
And I actually preferred it over The Rock. Like, I was really surprised. Because I never have watched Armageddon since it came out.
That's interesting. That's crazy. Because those two movies, like, I do think if I were to pick one, it would be Armageddon. Because I think, as just pure entertainment, I think Armageddon is the better movie than Deep Impact.
I think so. Oh, yeah. Deep Impact is, like, not very entertaining.
Deep Impact is about the drama. It's slow burning story characters.
It's very serious.
Yeah. The Armageddon just out the gate.
I never remember Deep Impact. I've seen it. I always I'm like, oh, that's the one with Elijah Wood. I remember everything about Armageddon. Like when I watched it from a kid, the song was everywhere.
The music video.
Yeah.
It kept showing those iconic parts like Liv Tyler's hand and the animal crackers. That's why I knew all those parts without ever really seeing that movie. I don't even know if I saw it all the way through the first time. Like now I have last week. Yeah, and I know that my brother and his best friend have watched it a billion times, but I was never one of those people. And now I'm like, oh, now I get why people like this. Like, it's pretty entertaining, you know?
And he comes out at the beginning of the movie, while the credits are still going on the screen, we get Eddie Griffin, we get Mark Curry.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I'm like, man, Bay is, there are people, I guess we're going to get into this, but there's definitely a method to his madness, and Randy said it has a label, Bayham. And it is, I don't know if you all everybody saw West Side Story, either version.
Nope.
I've seen, I saw the original in school.
It's, somebody broke this down. I can't take credit for noticing this. Somebody broke it down. Michael Bay is a fan, like most filmmakers of film. You watch the original West Side Story, you notice Michael Bay uses a lot of film cinematography style compositions for how he frames his action scenes. I'll send you this video. It's interesting and unbelievable because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And imagining Michael Bay watching West Side Story in itself, it's just nuts. But there's definitely a method to his madness. He, for example, just skipping the Transformers, like when Optimus Prime transforms out of the truck form into, it's like he's visually, for lack of a better example, just making love to Optimus Prime. He's lingering on every shot, everything turning, going all the way up. It sounds weird, Randy. Get a little scrunched up.
I'll relive it next summer.
Yeah, but
I know that he always does the same shot because I've watched 5 of his movies this week. It's always like the person stands up and then the camera pans around them slow motion.
Yeah, that
was
music
in
video
Bad Boys.
shit.
That was in The Rock after the car chase. I'm sure it was something Ben Affleck and Armageddon. You know, it's always that. Even Scarlett and Ewan in The Island, they stand up on a pile of desert rocks or whatever, and then the camera pans all around. And he always does that shot.
Did Ambulance have one of those?
And to demonstrate how people think it's easy, because there's a lot of directors. I made a joke about this one director earlier, but he actually tried to emulate that shot, and it wasn't as good. It's about depth and field, having proper stuff in the background So Peter Berg made a movie, Battleship, and he tried to emulate this shot, and it came off as...
He tried to emulate Transformers.
Yeah, look, they know what I'm talking about.
He tried to emulate Transformers. Fuck a whole shot.
Michael Bay a lot of, pretty much.
That's funny.
But yeah, I know, people get Michael Bay a lot of stuff. He is a good filmmaker visually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't... You can tell, you watch his movie, he doesn't focus on character.
Right.
Character development, so to speak. He'll do characterization a little bit, but character development, no, he wants to see shit blow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sell things.
And
hot
my God.
Women. Something I definitely notice is the way he is with women. Like, every woman is young. Every woman is drop dead gorgeous. Like, no offense to Steve Buscemi, who's in a lot of Michael Bay movies, but he would never hire a woman that looks like that, you know? And I was like, has he ever hired a woman over the age of 30? So I actually looked into this.
Ooh.
And I think Teresa Randall and Gabrielle Union were both 30 at the time of filming, and I couldn't find anyone who was even 31. You know, it's crazy. Like, yes, Shia's mom.
In Bad Boys 1, Teresa Randall?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Wow,
so maybe Bad Boys 2, but like, he's so shallow and specific when it comes to look at the most beautiful women in the world. That he cast, like the Transformers cast, Megan Fox and whatever.
He liked Megan Fox so much he cast her when she was 14.
What?
He has a cameo in Bad Boys 2 at the dance club.
She was 21. I just checked.
I think she was 16 something. She was in Bad Boys 2. She was one of the dancing girls.
Oh God.
But. True story. But anyway, go, Miller. No, you make a great point, though.
I say all the time.
It's just the way he is. Like he'll give all these opportunities to, like, all different male actors and black actors, like Jimon Honsu and Michael Clark Duncan and, you know, like that Eddie Griffin thing. Like, there's a lot of that. But when it comes to women, it's like, it's a very narrow point of view. Like, every woman looks like an Amazonian goddess. You know what I mean? It's just
his movies exist in the world of Last Action Hero.
I say all the time he never left the 90s.
On what planet is Shia LaBeouf? He's not an ugly guy. Like, not an ugly guy. Like, I know a lot of women who are always like,
God damn it, he ain't a guy that's going to get Megan Fox or that other chick.
His character in Transformers is scoring Megan Fox in Transformers, who, when you meet her, is like wearing the cutoff jeans and laying on the car. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, hey, like,
crop top. Yeah. Of course, she's like the dream woman who knows how to fix cars. Like, it's so over the top.
But you know what? I guess there can be an argument to that. Look at ready to shake your head. No. Pete Davidson.
I'm agreeing with y'all.
No.
Pete Davidson and
Okay, come on. He's a comedian. He's not some university kid. Like, is Shia in high school or college? I'm still watching
in high school in the first.
In the first one, yeah. College is Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah. So I'm using the example of humor as a means of attraction. That's all I'm doing.
I see what you're saying.
And that can work sometime.
But is he funny? Like,
it got me married.
Like,
that's a good point too.
I do think he's funny and adorable, but Nick makes a point that Michael Bay sees the world in this dichotomy of it doesn't matter what the guy looks like. It matters very much what the woman looks like.
King of Queens, baby.
Obviously, a lot of women like weird, quirky, funny guys. I'm like quoting Seinfeld right now, but you know, we don't have to constantly show that in every single movie. Sometimes the guy can be the hot one. At least Ben Affleck is super hot in Armageddon, I will say that. But Liv Tyler is like maybe one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Like, it's just so over the top, you know.
And what's the no, go ahead.
They're all really hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're fighting over each other.
Like, I didn't realize he worked with Ben Affleck twice. I don't know if there was,
Then he Yeah, it's really crazy. And like I said, with his visual effects, he likes to linger on the visual effects. And you talk about the women, like the shot of Megan bending over the car, and who works on a car sexually like that?
And if they're supposed to be in high school,
damn.
He even snuck a Isla Gonzalez ass shot into Ambulance.
I'm not the least bit surprised.
It's like the focus is Jake Gyllenhaal, but like she's like bent over, like working on the gurney or whatever.
Of course.
Like, and what if we panned out just a little bit? It's like,
so Randy, is that what you mean when you always say he's stuck in the 90s? It's like that.
Yeah, like the effects, the product placement, the stereotypical humor.
It's the MTV style of filmmaking. Yeah. If you want to.
Yeah. I always wanted to know what you meant, but I get that. Because I love the 90s, but it's almost like he takes the trashier parts.
Did you see Ambulance, Melissa?
No, sorry, I haven't. No.
That's no problem.
No spoilers.
It's like, but it's not a spoiler. It's just like, so Los Angeles. It's accurate, but as far as so the police vehicles, there are Dodge Chargers, there are Dodge Challengers, but they are not only those cars.
But they look cool.
They're really cool. It's like
he's selling it to Universal. These cars kick ass.
Yeah. Because they do have the ghost cars, like the white with the very faint police word on the side. That's accurate. But there are still Crown Vics. There still are the trucks, the Blazers and all that. But, you know, I guess you get that budget. The movie was $40 million. I guess you want to get like 20 million.
And it's not going to make
low for him. It only costs 40 million.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out this Licorice Pizza and Ambulance has the same budget.
Wow.
I can imagine.
I'm kind of impressed that.
I can imagine 20 million of that going to Bradley Cooper though.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, what's Jake's salary? You would think it would be high, but maybe.
True that.
I don't know.
Yeah, he probably knocked it back just because he wanted to work.
Why would it be a passion project? Michael Bay passion project. It's like an art house film or something.
It was and people are not realizing it's a remake also.
Yeah.
They're not.
Jake Gyllenhaal's like second Danish remake.
Back to back.
The remake is like
The Guilty?
40 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Back to back.
For the original.
So maybe it was a passion. Wow, that's so funny to me. But
he always gets such a strong cast too, no matter how shitty his movies turn out.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck, like Six Underground, The Island, Pearl Harbor, all these Transformers sequels
Bruce
all
Willis
have
and
good
Armageddon.
casts. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
Six Underground.
Six Underground sucks. I did not like Six Underground.
It's like I just remember it sucking. I don't remember anything else about it. I just remember being like, "This sucks."
Dude,
who saw it? Did everybody see Six Underground?
No, but I was reading the reviews and
Let me put it like this. I described it to a good friend of mine. If you want to watch Six Underground, you only need to watch the first 20 minutes of it.
Oh God, that's not a good selling point. I think I read Randy's review and I was like, I don't want to see this.
I have 15 movies on my Michael Bay list. I have Six Underground 10th, and I gave it a 2.5.
Damn. It's crazy. And once again, like I was telling y'all, Bay can't seem to get away from that. I was speaking of the gay character in The Rock, the Middle Eastern character in Bad Boys. There's a scene in Six Underground. Who's my guy who played Dr. Dre? I keep forgetting his real name.
Who?
Who played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, the actor.
Corey Hawkins.
Corey Hawkins. Thank you. There was about to be a great scene in Six Underground where he's at his own funeral because he had to fake his death, right?
Yeah.
And his family is there. He's giving this awesome speech. And they're cutting to his family, putting flowers on the grave, whatever. And then one of the family members, why you gotta take him, oh Lord? Why?
The grieving black family.
And this great speech is happening. And Michael Bay just had to Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Bay gonna Bay. Hey,
Corey
Bay.
Hawkins giving his all. And I imagine Corey Hawkins doesn't know Bay's gonna cut to this bullshit.
Yeah.
And Bay can't seem, but when he gets away from it, he does it great. 13 hours.
I was gonna say, like, he has potential to make good movies.
Yeah. And it's something happens when he makes these movies that are like character driven. Nobody goes to see them.
Pain and Gain.
That's the same.
The Island.
Probably the closest thing.
It's like when people want him to be who he is, I guess.
Yeah. And even The Ambulance to some degree. It's a very scaled back Michael Bay movie, but it's still a Michael Bay movie. And it's not doing well.
No. Even with its budget. I was like, it's
I'm like, come on, you can't make that back. But
when you said earlier about like they aren't like character driven, I was like, yeah, Ambulance is probably the closest one he's had in a while. It being about what's his name, like, you know, trying to help his family and doing that. That is probably the closest like character driven movie he's had.
Candyman.
Since I get maybe 13 hours, but like since maybe like The Island.
Well, honestly, I think that Shia's character in Transformers, I don't know the sequels as well, but in the first movie, I mean, you cannot say he's not a character. He's really a character. I was
definitely
a character.
Completely charmed by him. You know, I was completely knocked out. We're talking about how Megan Fox wouldn't like him, but I was totally like, wow, who is this kid? And he's so funny and he's so weird. And as an actor, I've always liked him, and that started with this movie, you know?
Yeah.
But that's him bringing a lot of it to the role, because I've watched a lot of his interviews, and he, even for the stupidest movie, he's such a method, passionate guy. He will go crazy to like make his character something.
And you
real.
make that point, Melissa. was that Shia LaBeouf more so because some actors they don't want to look bad, and is that more Michael Bay's direction or Shia LaBeouf's? Shia LaBeouf probably sat in the corner for 10 hours writing his characters.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. No, really. Yeah.
Whole life, and then put it into that movie. And
I remember Shia LaBeouf being on Even Stevens when I was a kid. He was on the Disney Channel show.
I heard that and Holes, but I never saw those.
Yeah, like he was like a kook on Even Stevens. He was the comedy guy. Like he was real goofy. And then Holes wasn't goofy, but it's a Disney movie. It's based on a kid's book. It's a Disney movie. So I remember seeing Transformers and I was like, oh yeah, he's Even Stevens. Like he's just being goofy.
Right.
Like when he started doing more serious stuff later, it was more surprising to me. I was like, oh, this asshole.
I think both Shia and Megan probably don't like. I don't know. Do they not like Transformers? I know Megan didn't have a good experience, but
they made amends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I wonder if Shia's trying to get away from that, like kind of like Pattinson and Twilight. I don't know. But he did so many sequels. Oh, he did maybe just one or two or what?
He did the first three.
Yeah, he did the first three.
Oh Megan Fox did two. So they must have liked it somewhat.
But it was like the third one again. It was like Megan Fox wasn't in the third one, and then Shia LaBeouf immediately hooked up with what's her name, who's also like a supermodel. What was her name?
Yeah.
Rosie Huntington Wheatley.
Oh my God, yes, she's literally a supermodel. Yeah, wow.
Barbie doll walking around, and he just like happens to meet her, and he goes up and talks to her, and he's like a foot shorter than her. I was like, I'm sorry, like no offense, but again, what planet is this happening? Like,
she's with Jason Statham. Shia's not exactly.
Nah,
exactly.
Melissa, did you get to watch Dark of the Moon?
No,
not Dark of the Moon.
I'm still rewatching the first.
It is,
Dark
Dark of the Moon.
Movies are.
Yeah.
So I didn't get around to that, but I will. I promise, I will.
Michael Bay's shortest movie is probably like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Everybody talked about Ambulance being too long, and it's like 130 minutes. And I was like,
that's normal. Yeah, that's
fucking short for Michael Bay.
Yeah, that's a Bay runtime.
That's a quick hop in, hop out.
I liked Ambulance. I got Ambulance ranked high on my Bay list just because it was like the most normal movie he's made in a while. Like, it was just like,
down.
Good. Like I'm into this.
I have it like 9.
It's not too chaotic.
Yeah.
For me to like follow. Whereas 6 Underground, I remember watching and being like, fuck this.
Erratic.
Yeah, it's just.
That's the line though. Like for me, I have Ambulance 9th. I have 6 Underground 10th. But like that's the line. Like Ambulance and up are good. 6 Underground and below are not.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yes,
no, have you seen the 13 Hours movie, Melissa?
I haven't. No, sorry.
The Secret. I recommend that. The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Because I think that's one of his. I don't know. Probably definitely top 5 movies.
I have it 5th.
And a lot of stuff is happening. It's probably one of the first like serious roles. I think it probably stopped people calling John Krasinski Jim from The Office.
Right.
It's funny because he and the dude that played Roy are both in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And there was all these memes going around. It was like when ISIS kidnaps Pam. And it was just like
yeah. What about Pain and Gain? Everybody see that?
I have that 3rd. I love Pain and Gain.
So Pain and Gain is strictly, it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And the true story itself, this is crazy. And the thing about this, talking about Michael Bay had to dial back on the true story. It was so whacked out. Because there's a lot of stuff he left out that would have seemed nuts. Because there was an initial, another blackmail of another partner that they dealt with that tried to then kill them.
Release the Bay cut.
I wish he would have directed that.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's
I remember people being mad when Pain and Gain came out because it was like based on a true story and it was like about the killers.
Yeah.
And there were all these people like victims' families and stuff like that were like, fuck you for making this movie.
Yeah.
Like these guys that did all this horrible stuff. And the dude, Tony Shalhoub, played in real life, like I think tried to sue them or something like that because
Wow.
how he was portrayed. And they were like, man, you know you were an asshole.
Yeah. And there's a deep dive about the real thing and how it happened. And crazy enough, a lot of what happened in the movie is extremely accurate.
Yeah. I always think, like, I've only watched that movie a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I always remember the part, like, when I was in the theater, when The Rock was barbecuing people's hands.
And then the thing comes up.
Fingertips.
Why would I want to see this, you guys?
This is still a true story.
And they said, reminder, this is a true story. It was like, by the way, this is still a true story.
But yo,
that,
like,
that
I
was
remember
amazing.
laughing my ass off at that.
If Snitch isn't The Rock's best performance, it's Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
Pain and Gain, The Rock is really good in Pain and Gain. He's like, you would look at the poster or whatever and think, oh, it's The Rock.
It's just The Rock being a
yeah, the
muscle
poster
head.
is not appealing.
He's kind of against type in that movie, like
Right.
character-wise. He's good in Pain.
I was legit like he had to been shortlisted for like a supporting actor because he's really that good against type. This is the biggest he's ever been on screen, like you see on the poster.
Yeah,
him and Wahlberg both got jacked.
The Rock. But in the movie, he's
Anthony Mackie got
giving
jacked
me
too.
a gift, and one of those gifts is knocking people.
Pain and Gain is one of Michael Bay's. I would even say it's one of his. It's like funniest movies. Like, I don't know, like intention, like almost like it's like where the comedy actually works. Like it's like they don't have to try too hard.
Yeah, the crazy true story lends itself well to his filmmaking style.
Yeah, like the stuff is like when like they're in the courtroom at the end and he just sings and sits down and like Wahlberg's face when he looks at it, like, he just looks at it like he's like, all right, well they're not going to listen to a coked out wacko.
Yeah. But of course they do like most
like
true
that.
stories. They cut to the real people and show what happened to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
They didn't
yeah,
look
it's
anything like The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I wouldn't think.
But yeah, I like Pain and Gain. I've got it like on my list. It's like there's two halves. I think I've got all the Transformers on the lower half. Even though like I would say the first Transformers is like good.
Yeah.
And the third Transformers is like
Yes.
good. It's
The
pretty
third
good.
Transformers.
Where was it filmed?
I'm glad you asked. It was filmed in the wonderful city of Chicago.
Fucker.
And
I thought that's where you were going.
But like,
I'm sorry, Nick. You were talking about. I think that's about it. Just Transformers 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And
those are
something
the
kept
ones
happening.
That's what these guys always tell me.
Like all these movies, they contradict each other so much. These Transformers, the sequels, they retcon movie to movie, and even from the first movie to the second movie, it was something like only a prime can destroy someone, but it had previously happened. So like, why am I bound down to you if I'm stronger? It just gets dumb like that.
the
Second one is like one of the worst movies I ever saw.
I have that one last.
Yeah.
I didn't see the third movie because I hated the second one so much.
Revenge of the Fallen I've got as my lowest Michael Bay movie.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Theater and not thinking it was like unbearably bad. I remember thinking, wow, that was kind of rough. But like I bought it when it came out. I was like, whatever, new Transformers. Yeah, obviously gonna buy it. And like when I rewatched it at home, for some reason, the second time I watched it, I was like, this is the fucking worst. Like, it was like everything bad about it just hit way harder.
Yeah.
The girl coming into the robot, the racist little robots, the mom getting high. Everything was worse watching it at home. Like maybe that's something about the effects or something in the theater. It wasn't as bad.
I was just going to say, because sometimes when you're in the theater, you're in a great mood, you're with your friends, you get caught up in the moment. That was a fun time, but you're not really thinking about the movie so much. Then when you evaluate it, sitting on your couch, you're like, wait a minute. Now I'm sober, and I'm like, what the hell?
This sucks.
It was like everything right, so everybody was there, and I just think when I watched it at home, I was like, this is fucking terrible.
That's a great description. Melissa, I think at the theater, the movie, after it was done, I think the movie made you mentally drunk and you didn't really analyze it well afterwards.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
I'm a very visual person, and my older brother would, like, MTV was so big when you guys were young. We had much music, so much we would just stare watching music videos all day. This is what we did, right? When we're, you can't go out and drink, you're too young, whatever. And my older brother would always say, Melissa, you just like that song because you like the music video, because I'm so visual that I'd be like, this is a great song. But it's like when you just listen to the song,
like, damn, that shit sucks.
I hate the song. Like, it's just interesting, because I was thinking that about the first Transformers. So the first Transformers, I was taken. I didn't want to go. I was with Liam Neeson. So I was taken. But then I ended up absolutely loving it. Like, I gave it 5 stars, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm not even the audience for this. I just absolutely love it. I love Shia. I love everything. Now I'm watching it at home. In the first hour, I'm not really seeing why I liked it so much. I don't know. I hope the second hour is better.
Yeah, I think, like, the first Transformers, to me, was good. Like, it's like a 3 to me. Like, it's good. Like, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But even when I was, like, 17, it was, like, nothing to write home about to me. Like, I was like, that's cool. And, like, it ended with the Linkin Park song, and it was like, oh, hell yeah.
I think that's why I went home so happy.
I played that song at the gym.
Put it in my chest, right?
And if you'd have told me, though, when I was sitting there watching it, like, that's going to be the only good one, and they're going to make it 5 out of it. Are you shitting me?
Like, get the hell out of here, And what's, what is, Melissa, you brought something up. I'm going to swing back around to it because it's something that he does that's really disturbing in one of the later Transformers movies. So, the Mark Wahlberg, he was in 2?
Mark Wahlberg.
Well, yeah, it's 2 different eras of
Mark Wahlberg part 1 and 2.
Oh, man. So, I didn't realize he worked with Wahlberg like 3 times.
Yeah.
So, the first Transformer movie Wahlberg is in, take a shot for every time he says, I'm a scientist.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is the second Transformer movie Wahlberg is in. He has a daughter.
No, that's the first one.
First one.
Age of Extinction.
That's the first one. So this is the movie where they doing that legal dating age shit.
Oh, gross.
Sure.
Like, dude walks around with a thing. It's an older guy who's dating Wahlberg's daughter, who's like 17, and he literally walks around with a thing in his pocket. According to the state of Texas,
oh my God,
if you're 17, you have consent.
Shit.
What is the point of any of that?
It's because that's how Michael Bay thinks about women. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It was jarring. Like, why is this in here?
Yeah.
Age of Extinction.
That was Age of Extinction.
Yeah. Dog shit. That one sucks. I think I give it a... Because
it's a Transformers movie. Why is that a thing?
His politics, it's weird. You can just tell from his movies. Like, that's what I was thinking all week. Like,
and they made it. I mean, it's like it was a major subplot.
The whole boyfriend subplot thing in that movie is fucking garbage. Like,
yes,
like it's like the classic like tough guy dad meets the new boyfriend, and it's like, who are you? And it's like, oh, I'm her boyfriend. And the whole movie, like this, like bitch guy, like the whole movie, like every time something happens, he like screams and runs away. And then there's like a point in the movie where they're on a plane or something, and he sits and has the serious like father-son talk with him. And he's like, she's got to be the most important thing in the world to you. And he's like, she is, and all this stuff. And it's like, you've been a bitch this entire movie. Like, I think that you were ready to like be with his daughter, and then the next scene they do something and he's like the scared guy in the scene again. And I'm like, this is so trash. Like, he's only in this movie to be funny.
It's and then I understand. So Michael Bay sticking with these Transformer movies, I understand the budgets for these movies are like $10 billion kajillion.
Yeah.
And you can tell, I think it's a couple of movies. I don't know the names of these Transformer movies. I know there's 5, 6, 18. So there's like 2 movies where the focus is, there's a hard focus, and then boom, the movie's all of a sudden in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Or China, if I'm not mistaken. And then one of the major characters, that they're only doing this so they can get more money for the budget for the movie.
Yeah.
Because you have because the biggest market other than the U.S. market for movies is the overseas market for China, correct?
Yeah.
And they're pandering. You can see these story plot points, and they're over. And this happens like probably 18 times, but there's two parts that stick out. It's with Stanley Tucci. It's the scene. He's in the elevator. I'm like, oh man, and he breaks out this milk that's real popular, and he cracks it open. He just drinks it in the elevator, and he holds it to the screen.
But why?
That movie is the most blatant, like in your face.
But why would he do that?
Which one is that?
I think it's Age of Extinction.
This
is still Age of Extinction?
Yes. It's dog. That one is dog shit.
Is this the same one with the Bud Light?
Or Mark?
Wahlberg.
This is Mark.
Definitely Mark.
Is Dark of the Moon the one you guys kind of like? Is that
Yeah,
that's the third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so watch that one. That's the third act.
I wouldn't even say I like it, but it's way better than
the Wahlberg movies.
ROTF or whatever it's called.
Well, let me ask you this, Nick. You remember these movies better than me. Is that the same movie? They're on Mark Wahlberg now, and he's arguing with this guy like, "Hey, you did something to my car." You're like, "You know what? I'm gonna crack open this beer in your car and drink it." And he has the Bud Light, and he just drinks it.
No, it's not just that he cracks open the Bud Light.
Yes.
He takes down a Decepticon that is a Bud Light truck.
Yes, that's what happens.
And it's Bud Light everywhere, and there's beers all over the ground. He goes, "You just fucked up my car," and he picks one up and drinks it like.
Yeah, he cracks it off.
I do not remember this.
You don't remember that?
I do not remember this.
So did the sequels keep making money? Because how did they keep greenlighting?
They were killing, like what I was saying about over China. They were killing overseas.
Okay.
That movie made $1 billion. It was the highest grossing movie of 2014. It made over $1 billion.
My God.
They were making a decent amount domestically, yes, but they were killing it overseas.
Overseas, but like there was a thing in that movie, and I don't even remember. Like Stanley Tucci has something. It's like a thing that turns into something.
Yeah, and it turned into the pill, the Beats.
The Beats pill, and it's like
ooh.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because they were working on controlling the shape-shifting of the Transformers, and they were controlling it.
This is a horrible place to break on, but we almost had an hour. All right, before we move on, I just wanted to say I have Age of Extinction, like, one spot higher than The Last Night, because I remember The Last Night being utterly out of my mind fucking boring.
In my head... So I've only watched Last Night one time. I watched it in the theater.
I don't think I watched it before Bumblebee.
It was not good, but like I remember thinking like this is better than Age of Extinction. That's just a thought I had. Like I gave Age of Extinction a 2 because it had dinosaurs in it, and that was kind of cool.
I get that.
And then I gave Last Night like a 2.5. Like I was like, this is they got rid of stuff. That like the whole daughter thing is gone. I remember he was working with like a little girl, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Is The Last Night the one with the Dora the Explorer girl, or is that Age of Extinction?
Yeah, that's The Last Night.
Okay.
And like Anthony Hopkins was in it. Like, I remember thinking that's kind of cool in a way.
I'm telling you, like he pulls these actors like Stanley Tucci and fucking Anthony Hopkins, and it's a dumpster fire.
You're absolutely right.
They advertised Optimus Prime. They advertised The Last Night having Optimus Prime go bad, and he's bad for like 10 seconds.
I forgot that was the plot point.
See?
I remember the trailer being like really dramatic.
Yeah.
But I remember it was like 4 movies in, and they're like, here's the 5th one. And I was like,
in the same year that Fast and Furious advertised Vin Diesel going bad.
Yeah. But we all knew he wouldn't turn on his family.
The movie.
We didn't know why Optimus Prime was going down.
Yeah.
Not the movies.
The movies.
But when I rewatched the Transformers, what is it, next year?
Yeah, I'll watch them again next summer.
So what's this movie coming out, Randy?
The next Transformers?
So it's going to not be like a Bumblebee. It's going to be a Transformer. Like what?
I don't know if it's like a direct sequel to The Last Night. I know it's directed by the director of Creed 2, Stephen Cable Jr.
Yeah.
So that person was not involved in Transformers before.
No.
Oh no.
Isn't it like Beast Wars? Isn't it going to be like Beast?
I'm trying to find something on it.
Hopefully it's good. I don't know. Hopefully it's nothing like.
Yeah, I mean that's always the hope.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Bumblebee.
Bumblebee was really good.
Like everybody acknowledged, but it was nothing. Again, it was like nothing crazy to write home about. It adhered to like a formula, though. It was kind of like the E.T. like Earth to Echo, I guess. For some reason, that came to my mind. Like kind of like formula where it's like it touches down and it's like just one robot and some kids.
Yeah,
and it works better than 85 robots and some kids fighting over some bullshit thing in a bullshit planet.
Yeah.
Let me see. Here we go. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. It is a sequel to Bumblebee, and it's influenced by Beast Wars.
Hell yeah! I used to watch Beast Wars.
Anthony Ramos from Star is Born. Dominique Fishback from Judas and the Black Messiah.
They're trying to make him happen.
LaGuerta. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I do too.
LaGuerta from Dexter is going to be in it.
Did you see In Treatment, Eric?
In Treatment? No, I've heard it was good.
He was good in that. I mean, he's always good. Yeah. It's so funny, Nick, that you use that phrase "nothing to write home about." I do that too. Yeah. And my dad was like, "You sound like
why are you writing home?
You sound like your grandpa when you say that," because that was like something my like 90-plus-year-old grandfather would always say. So it's so funny that you use that phrase because I don't know, I don't hear many people saying that besides me. That's so funny. All the time. Yeah, me too.
I don't write home about anything. I think it just comes.
It's so old school because like who's gonna write home? Like it's so funny.
And today I saw
It's like we're in the army or something and we're like writing home like, "Hi mom, I saw this movie." So funny.
Yeah, we got
today I watched.
I did write home when I was deployed.
Yeah, that's what it's probably from.
Whatever. But yeah, it's
Have we exhausted the Transformers subject?
Yeah, like
so.
off of wax, as my good buddy Randy would say.
I stole that from Jalen and Jacoby.
A better Michael Bay movie, more underrated Michael. This is all my opinion. One that should be talked about more. I'm gonna get into
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
So funny enough, I got a little story. Where I am now is in I'm in Texas. I used to come here to visit my aunts and cousin all the time, and I came here in 2005. I'm like, let's go to the movies. Like, what's out? I'm like, let's go see The Island.
Yeah.
They didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah.
And my cousin is a Michael Bay fan.
I remember The Island coming out. It was 2005.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I remember assuming in my head, I just remember having the thought process. Being like, oh, that'll probably go number one.
Yeah.
And then having the thought kick in, and I was like, will it? No? Like, I remember being like, do people know what The Island is? And then Wedding Crashers went number one that week in like fourth week or something like that. And I remember being like, wow, I was right. And I had the same thing with Stealth that year, too. I remember being like, Stealth will go number one. And I was like, wait, why? Like, does anyone give a shit about that?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh.
See?
Jamie Foxx, Jessica Biel.
It was the other guy.
Was Josh? Josh Lucas.
Guys.
Yeah.
I wonder if Wedding Crashers was a word of mouth thing, or if people just went anyway.
Oh, yeah.
The Frat Pack was just a vibe at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't that the first, like, you know?
Was it?
Like,
Would
what had preceded that?
Like old school and like dodgeball.
Yeah,
Oh,
Starsky
yeah,
and
you're
Hutch.
absolutely right.
It was there. Yeah.
Anchorman.
Starsky and Hutch. Zoom, Anchorman, yeah, like it was kind of in that family.
Yeah. Although, yeah, Will Ferrell has a cameo at the end, I guess. Kind of funny.
Yes.
You know what I did today? I crashed a funeral.
He did not have a cameo in The Island.
No,
yeah, so back to The Island.
So what did the island? The island made only, I think, 12 million that weekend.
So wait, was it a hit or what?
No, it was so on a budget of a budget of $126 million. Domestically, it made 35 million.
Fuck that.
Worldwide.
It's so interesting that Wedding Crashers was the one. Like, it's so interesting. You know, comedy really took over.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's just seemed the 2000s were just great for comedies that whole decade.
Fuck yeah.
It was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory hit. The Island, nope. And it was just like, damn. Like,
so internationally, 127 million. So it did okay overseas, but it barely made its budget back. In total, 162 million.
And then Michael Bay got the Transformers franchise.
What's that, Melissa?
That's true. Good point. What was the budget again?
127 million. No, 26.
And it made total?
Total 162 million.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, but domestically, it did horrible, 35 million.
Yeah.
And it just made one more million than its budget internationally.
I think it was just kind of like vague title.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vague marketing. Nobody
Scarlett
really
wasn't
explain.
as big back then.
Yeah.
You know, now she is obviously.
He was kind of like still kind of up and coming. It was like
exactly.
He was
she
like
had very few adult roles at the time, also, if I'm not mistaken.
It started that year with that and Match Point. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And, it was like she did like what was that shit with Topher Grace?
Oh yeah, that was a horrible movie.
Yeah, like.
But
In Good Company.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, yeah, that is. So the thing is, high concept movies.
I never should have did that Dennis Quaid movie.
Oh god.
Ocean's 12.
No, so a high concept movie, people misinterpreted what that is. A high concept movie is actually something that can be explained easily.
Yeah, I was thinking of Bruce Almighty.
Yes, that's great. You know, he gets the power of God.
Yeah.
But the island, even I told you the story of my aunt and cousin. I couldn't explain to them what the hell it was about. It's a Michael Bay movie. I said, trust me. I literally said that.
Because
it's from the guy who made.
Had you already seen it before you were telling them to?
No, but I saw the trailer. It was like I was the only one on earth who wanted to see this movie.
After y'all watched it, did they trust you again?
No, they liked it. It was good.
I liked it.
It was good.
It's like the main plot of it is kind of a twist in the movie, so you can't really explain it.
And that's
100%.
the thing that probably put that back to the wall marketing wise.
It's 17 years old. Just explain it.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and I keep telling Randy I don't remember if I saw it in theaters or not, but I do remember seeing it and liking it.
Yeah.
So I watched it again finally after all this time, and I still really, really like it. I was shocked because Randy gave it a 2, and I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, definitely rewatch it.
I'm the only one on the panel that's not high on the island.
I don't even know if I can articulate why, but like I really like it. Scarlett and Ewan are not even like my favorites or anything. I guess I'm just hooked on the story. And the first 20, 30 minutes are a little slow because you don't, like Eric said, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then when it kicks in, and I always complain about action scenes where it's just a bunch of action and no dialogue, whatever. But this movie has a lot of that actually throughout the middle, and I actually really enjoy it. I just really like the action. I really like the story. It's clever. It's different. High concept, as Eric said. And I don't know. I like Ewan and Scarlett being that fish out of water.
Yeah.
You know, they're totally naive and innocent. It works well for them, you know. I don't think either of them are like amazing actors all the time, but for this role, it's good. You know, typical Michael Bay, he finds like the most beautiful woman at the time and casts her right at that moment. But,
and it's no coincidence her so I guess spoiler.
It's 17 years old. Spoil away.
So Scarlett Johansson's character. So basically, God dog, there's a lot to explain. It's definitely not high concept. So Scarlett Johansson's character in the movie is about clones who they're born or whatever to replace for rich people who need body parts or replacements or whatever. Organ donors or whatever.
Get out.
So
Us.
So Scarlett Johansson's her real person is, if I'm not mistaken, a model
star?
or actress.
Oh yeah. Because she does some kind of like promo for Calvin Klein or something.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. Could be a
Scarlett
model,
Johansson, the clone, she sees herself in a mirror, and it's a good moment.
Yeah.
But it's it's interesting. But yeah, Michael Bay, this is probably, because like you said, Melissa, a lot doesn't happen. There's a lot of character development going on.
Right. In the beginning.
Like the first,
30 minutes
40,
or so.
30, I think probably longer than that.
Yeah.
And you see Ewan McGregor, Steve Buscemi, I guess a Michael Bay mainstay.
Yeah. He's great as comic relief in this movie. Like I was
he's real good.
Surprised. Yeah.
And there's a lot of subtleties, and Steve Buscemi's. I watched it recently. I like what he does because he can't tell him who he really is. Ewan McGregor.
Right.
But now I think it's interestingly enough, this is Michael Bay's first movie where he doesn't work with Jerry Bruckheimer. This is his first time working with Steven Spielberg as a producer.
Oh wow!
So I don't think that's a coincidence. Like he had to step up his game a bit, storytelling wise.
Right. It's a good story. I mean, it kind of reminds me of other ones like Matrix or like iRobot or something. But it's a good story.
It's very similar to like Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
THX 1138. I don't know if anybody's seen that, the George Lucas movie. It's very similar, like, to those. But like, if you say that to somebody, like, you're like, oh, it's like Michael Bay does Logan's Run. Like, somebody's gonna be like, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It's pretty. It's okay.
And it's interesting.
I tend to like those movies where two people or whoever are trying to escape something. I mean, that's always fun. That's always exciting. They have to find ways to like just disguise themselves or run away or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's done really well.
And it's cool. A cool scene where Ewan McGregor talks to himself, and the Ewan McGregor clone has an American accent, and the real person is talking to Ewan McGregor's native accent, which is Scottish.
Scottish, yeah.
And I didn't know
a good moment.
at that point that he was Scottish.
Did he tell Anakin that he had the higher ground?
Scottish name ever, but
well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But then again, I got a buddy, my guy, black fella. His name is Patrick McGinnis.
Yeah.
So I make fun of him all day.
You don't have those stereotypes in mind because of that, yeah.
No, you're right. It is a definitely Irish name, but no, it's a great scene. The interaction of it. And
I agree. I wish Scarlett had met her person, but
oh yeah, she didn't because oh god, I guess spoilers again, right?
Yeah.
Because she dies.
But that was a really good scene with the two Ewans.
She had it ready. Yeah. But
so
yeah,
Randy, like, come on, like, why didn't you like it? You remember?
What the hell's wrong with you,
dude? Like I told, like I put in my Letterboxd review, man. It was the middle of the night, like 3 a.m, and I probably just wasn't paying 1,000% attention.
Yeah,
I was really surprised because usually you and I are like pretty on par with taste. So I was.
I'm usually 1 star within you and Nick on damn near everything.
Yeah.
I would like love the island. I think I would like a 3, but to me it's like
you give everything a 3.
Yeah.
Nick is the stingiest of the star givens.
He's always there. I'm like 1 or 5. Nick's like 3 or 3.5.
It's like rare. But to me, the island is closer to a 3.5 than a 2.5. I'm just like, yeah, it's a 3. It's not quite as good as Bad Boys 1 and 2.
Right.
But it's better than every Transformers movie.
Yeah, but Bay actually speaks on that I listen to because I'm the movie physical media nerd. There's a commentary on the island, and he speaks to the movie being a flop. This is his first flop.
Yeah. But Pearl Harbor was not a flop.
Damn.
No, it made money. It was silly as shit.
Yeah, Memorial Day
weekend. The movie. But no, Michael Bay speaks to it, and it was just you get to hear it in his voice. He was very disappointed, and whatever. And it came down like our assumptions. He said it was just the marketing, too many cooks. He used that analogy, if I'm not mistaken. And they just didn't know how to market it.
It's not a dumb movie. Like I
Nah.
think it's you know I watched it and I'm very engaged. I think it's exciting and fun.
Like you said, nobody knew what it was, and how would you?
Yeah, it's
not
the
knowing
title
what it was going to be.
The title is vague.
Yeah.
The actors weren't that known yet. It probably helped, even though that movie didn't do so well. But that probably helped.
I remember at the time, like I said, like I guess I was like 15 in 2005, and it was that summer was like busy with movies, and I remember thinking at that time like that
was War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Maybe people didn't get it.
Summer 2005 was crazy.
Yeah, it was stacked, and they put it right in the middle of July.
Yeah,
a
lot of confidence. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Coming off of Revenge of the Sith, kicked off the summer, which at the time was unbelievable. And then it was that Batman Begins, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, fucking like
Wedding Crashers, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That year is incredible. I can't I have a list of my top favorite movies for every year. 2005, I have like 30 favorite movies, which is for me that's a lot. Like that I would rate 4 or 5. Like that's crazy.
40-Year-Old Virgin was that summer. Wedding Crashers
Four
was
Brothers.
that summer.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we talk about Harry Potter. That was later in the year, but God,
but it was
what a year.
All around the same time, and it was just like, and here's the island. And I remember even at home thinking,
was King Kong? Yeah,
December.
You said King Kong. That was later. Yeah, it was summer wise, but yeah, it was just a stacked year.
Yeah,
I think maybe the word of mouth with the island wasn't exactly you need to see this right now. We're just like, yeah, it was good, or I don't know, maybe it's kind of losing rumor.
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers. I mean, when I saw that, it was like the best movie I had ever seen in my life.
When did Sin City come out? That was 05.
April.
Yeah, that
April.
Man, that's nuts.
I don't remember telling everyone you need to see The Island, but I'm like, oh, I do like that movie.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I told
it's like a
everyone
sleeper.
And you're right though, and word of mouth is a
Wedding
very
Crashers,
powerful thing.
I told everyone to go watch that.
It's so funny. Wedding Crashers had such an impact. Like, I think I asked on Facebook recently, what's your favorite movie? You have to pick one, just one. Because I think I was on holiday. I was like, I want to watch. And so many of my girlfriends from high school picked Wedding Crashers. I'm like, wow, all of this whole generation. And it's
so
women.
good.
Like, it's so funny. It had such an impact.
You lock it up.
So fun.
Yeah.
You lock it up.
It appeals both to men and women. Like, those two guys, I mean, love both of them. So it's just great all around.
It works as like a raunchy party comedy, but it definitely also works as like a rom-com.
There you go. You're absolutely right. You should be in marketing this.
Yeah, you should have been in marketing for the island.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Wedding Crashers.
That's
it
Sid
just
and Moira,
works.
son. You know the
just
banker.
works.
The island. It works.
I wish I would have watched the original
That's a
trailer for the
tagline.
island. I want to, because what grabbed me, because I really wanted to go see it, and like everybody looking at me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
Like I'm just made the movie up.
It was like the film people that were like, what's that? You know, but maybe not everyone.
But I remember thinking that. That's like a dumb teen,
Dude.
like not dumb, but like a naive just teenager who didn't know the ins and outs of the business the way I would later. At the time thinking, is there hype for the island? Like, I just started being like, is it?
Because, man, normies need to be spoon-fed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe they thought Ewan McGregor coming off of Star Wars was just going to put asses in seats, and it just didn't.
Yeah. It just,
just name recognition.
It's surprising.
Who would have thought Jake Gyllenhaal robbing a bank wouldn't put some asses in seats?
I would think. I don't know.
That's just like.
Do his films normally make a lot? I don't know.
But the problem with that is, I understood why they put it where they put it. They put it against Sonic 2, so opposite ends of the spectrum.
Counter programming.
But the parents have to go take the kids to see Sonic 2, so they're not going to go see the ambulance.
It's only made
think
15.
Here, ambulance. That was the only thing I thought of. You get on Google and you type in the box office, and they're like, "What ambulance's box office failure means for the state of the world right now?" I'm like, "Is that?" I think in another year,
I can't stand that shit.
Yeah,
it would have been a fine move to have an R-rated movie for something that teenagers and older people want to go see, as opposed to Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Now everyone isn't going to the movies.
Yes.
Unless you have to see, and that thing you have to see right now is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And you know what?
The parents have to take the kids to go see it. So a 20-something-year-old is just going to wait for ambulance to come on demand.
Hell yes.
And given what the turnover is now,
like 2 months.
From theatrical to home video.
It'll be on Blu-ray in June.
I get to see Batman tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can't believe it. Like,
exactly. Like I just saw that yesterday. It did.
Oh my god.
No, it's seriously. I saw it.
Especially when I saw the running time, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta.
But it flows very well.
Yeah,
I believe you. I'll be ready to talk later with you guys. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
But with ambulance, Nick and Randy,
what's happening?
Take away one F word. Take away a couple of graphic bullet wounds. It could be PG-13 easily.
Yeah.
It could have
been.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, honestly, because I'm not big on violence.
It's not like
but then again,
Garrett Dillahunt, the lead cop's dropping.
Spoiler,
like,
people. I'm sorry.
One
major scene in ambulance. There's an impromptu surgery scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they.
That's kind of important.
If you've ever watched like ER or anything like that, like
Grey's Anatomy,
it's not too bad, but there's a couple of shots where.
But
yeah,
that's handy.
But yeah, it's.
I mean, like when Ben Affleck shows up, like I just was not expecting that shit.
Oh fuck.
He came down in a spaceship, and I was like, "Oh."
Well, I got a question.
Armageddon shared universe.
So how many movies total does Michael Bay have as a director? I counted 15.
Yeah, I have 15.
That's what I have.
So take away the 5 Transformer movies.
10.
10.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like. He came out recently and said that Spielberg told him to stop after 3.
Yes. When Spielberg tells you something, you should listen.
What if it's making him money? I can't really.
But then again,
yeah, like the studio, like cut him a check.
Money, Steven, the money.
Make us money and you get paid.
I can understand that.
Was Revenge of the Fallen the highest grossing movie of 2009?
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt if it was.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Man.
And then like Dark of the Moon, I don't remember if it was the highest grossing movie of 11, but it made $1 billion.
Let me see.
And then Age of Extinction in 2014 made $1 billion. $1 billion.
Ridiculous.
Nick.
And then The Last Night didn't hit.
Nick, you ready to slap yourself?
I guess that's what Eric said, that international box office. So.
I think just people were. I think people catch on to horse shit like quicker.
Nicholas.
People are trying to explain all this Fantastic Beasts stuff, and I think it's like aside from the mega fans.
Nick, you ready, Nick?
What?
Avatar came out in 2009.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shut up.
But actually, as far as the year,
you're probably right about that.
Like the calendar year.
Yeah.
Because Avatar was dead for like 15 years.
For in calendar, like what it made in 2009, Transformers was number 1. Avatar was 5.
Right, because Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince technically made more
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Where's 2011?
But total, of course, Avatar did what it did. We ain't got to get into that, but.
I was lucky enough. Were any of you working at a movie theater during that time?
No.
So I was managing the theater. I got a big bonus when Avatar came. I'll always remember that. I didn't have to do shit, but they paid me well.
That's awesome.
Just give out those 3D glasses. Take them off after the movie.
Man.
Deathly Hallows 2 to 2011.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. And rightfully so. Because it was good as hell.
Yep.
Transformers was like fine.
Yep.
Yeah. So what is obviously I would assume because that could be 13 hours. Michael Bay's lowest grossing movie, total gross. It's got to be the Highland or.
I think it's the 13 hours.
Yeah, it's got to be probably 13 hours.
Not 100% sure.
I can't believe people saw 600 because I have no recollection.
It was on Netflix.
Oh. Thank God it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Dude, I think
so Randy, your favorite Michael Bay is Bad Boys, right?
Yeah.
But this is funny.
Me too.
I can't find.
Without a doubt.
I think you gotta have like you gotta pay for like IMDb Pro to find like Michael Bay's like list of gross now. Stupid Box Office Mojo.
Well, what about Wikipedia? Doesn't it have?
Google it.
Let me see.
No, yeah.
Well,
So this is interesting
I always
numbers-wise.
check box office on Wikipedia first.
I want the full list.
So 13 hours, technically, is more. Okay, so it made more domestically than The Island did. It made $52 million domestically.
I wouldn't have thought it made that much. I'll be honest.
Me neither. On a $50 million budget, it made worldwide $69 million, internationally $16 million, domestically $52 million.
He's EP on Jack Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So The Island had the bigger budget and made so.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Ratio wise, I guess.
The Island is one of those forgotten movies. I'm glad I watched it again because I was like, I do still really like this.
Ambulance was his first movie
I'd
with
honestly
Universal.
forgotten most of it.
What'd you say, Randy?
So Ambulance was his first movie with Universal.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I think everything else has technically been.
Bad Boys is Sony.
But it's usually Paramount.
The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor are like Hollywood Pictures or whatever that shit was. Bad Boys 2 Sony. The Island DreamWorks. Yeah, Transformers all the way down to The Last Night was Paramount or DreamWorks. And Six Underground was Netflix.
And Pain and Gain was
Paramount.
Paramount still, man.
13 Hours was Paramount.
Man.
I can't find.
So you had a nice run at Paramount, huh?
Yeah.
And Netflix.
The Island Paramount now. Pearl Harbor. Fucking Disney.
Yeah. So since we're talking about Michael Bay, of course y'all are curious. What is Michael Bay's net worth? According to the number one source of all, Google. Michael Bay's net worth is literally, they literally say this, and I quote, around $500 million.
Damn.
Damn. Michael Bay, let's see, bragging stuff. He owned a $50 million Gulfstream G550 jet, as well as Bentleys, Range Rovers, Escalades, Ferraris, Lamborghini, 2 Camaros. Oh, not just any of those, but the actual ones from the Transformers movies.
Sounds like a hip-hop song. Sounds like a Big Timer song.
Oh, man. See, Michael Bay's check. Let's see, they range up front from $500,000, and then he has back end percentage points. He reportedly earned $80 million back in from all of the Transformer movies.
Damn.
$80 million?
Mm-hmm.
I have a question randomly. Unless, Eric, you have more money stuff.
No, what's up? I'm just throwing, since we're talking about him.
Do you guys like Bad Boys 2?
I do. As a Michael Bay movie, it's like...
Right. It's full Bayham. I think this is his...
This is one of these movies that I've tried so hard, and I still haven't got through it. And I really obviously wanted to like it. Bad Boys is one of my favorite movies. But I find the tone completely different in the second. Do you guys see
it is.
Yeah, like...
He didn't really establish his style with the first Bad Boys. Like a little bit... But by the time he got...
It's more subtle.
I think Bad Boys 2 is Michael Bay at the height of all his powers.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Stylistically, runtime, explosions, rats fucking. He's pile driving her.
Yeah.
Yellow Hummer out of nowhere for no reason.
Celebrity cameos.
It's so different.
It's genius.
And not in a way that I like at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Blue power, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's so nuts every time I watch it.
Somebody did a meme.
I love Téa Leoni. I wonder if she had a bad experience or what.
Yeah. This probably story-wise.
I love her in that first movie, and you know how she later on she has Madame Secretary or whatever, but Deep Impact or whatever. But like, that's a great role. That's a great actor in that. And I even like, they are so afraid to do anything romantic, but at the end they Will and her finally have a little, Martin's trying to get...
it's the one scene in the middle that's pretty cool when her and Martin were laying on the bed together.
Yeah.
Like, don't you sometimes just feel funny?
She's like, so sexy.
A little funny. You're like, oh no, Martin, like, no, you don't want that. And he's like,
it's so good.
Then he went to call and Martin, and then
he was called Will. If I could dream up the sequel, I could have her back and her and Will having more of like a romantic thing. And
you know what, man? That would have been.
It writes itself.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah, that's a good question.
But instead, it's all this other crazy shit that I'm like, where did this come from?
But I mean, Bad Boys too. Like it's really like they threw everything but the kitchen sink into like they
threw that damn kitchen sink.
Yeah, that shit was in there too.
Well, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they went ahead and did it anyway. Like they were like, let's put the hidden drugs in all these dead bodies.
Oh my God, that scene right there.
What else can we do? He's like, well, imagine a car chase. It's like this is like the second car chase in 20 minutes. They're like, all right, well, what if we put the dead bodies out
of the
back?
Oh. It's like, one part that I hate so much. It kind of goes against Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry's character.
Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry. That's a Lowry. Mike Lowry. Like when before that chase scene with the dead bodies, he doesn't want to lose them on the tail. He drives up literally right next to them. But within the movie, Martin says, like, damn, don't you think you're a little too close? Like, I don't want to lose him. Trying to be. That doesn't make him look like a badass to me. That made him look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
And then they spot him.
Doesn't matter.
But,
yeah.
But then again, that's how the action scene kicks off. But it's a lot. I think the genius that lends itself. Okay, so the action scene when they're at the Jamaicans' houses, right?
Yeah.
The scene with the 360 going around, Will Smith is on the wall. Great scene. I still love that scene.
Wow.
Watch the scene. It makes no geographical sense.
Hey, right.
But it looks great to watch.
Right.
That's Bay's whole philosophy. Does it look cool? Let's do it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. With Will Smith, the way he's standing, the way they're shooting, everybody, the wide shots, nobody can possibly hit anybody.
But
except for that's the thing.
What they do.
Editing. But except for Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence is technically where he is in relation to the other person. He's in a horrible place because they're right across from each other. And it's crazy. But Michael Bay,
he's all fucked up.
Yeah, he basically.
You want to ask him?
That's shit.
Yeah. But anywho, Bad Boys 2.
Trigger Mike.
Like Randy said, and there's another scene I hate. So, I used to be in law enforcement. I like my guns. I think everybody has a right to protect themselves. So there's a scene that plays funny the first time I see it, but then again, it to a veteran police officer, detective, whatever you want to call it, there's a thing called trigger discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means when you use my phone, when you don't put your finger on the trigger unless you're about to shoot. You keep it to the side where the slide is. All during the scene where Martin's daughter shows up, Will Smith's finger is hard on the trigger, and he's pointing it to the kid. It's like, oh, you want to... And
you an old ludicrous-looking motherfucker, ain't you?
Yeah. And to give it more context, Will Smith's gun is a Glock. A Glock doesn't have your traditional safety that you switch on. The Glock safety is finger off the trigger, the gun is safe. It has internal safeties. So his finger's on the trigger. If he depresses it, guess what's going to happen? And so there's a lot of bad trigger discipline in movies. I know I'm ranting, but that scene makes me cringe.
All cop movies should have accurate trigger discipline. It's training.
You watch John Wick. You watch the John Wick movies. Excellent trigger disciplines. Christopher Nolan is real big on trigger discipline. Watch any movie where any character handles a gun. You'll see their fingers off to the side unless they're about to fire. But that's just me. And funny enough, there's a video of Will Smith when he's working on Bad Boys 3 when the director picks up the gun and Will Smith knocks it down and grabs him and says, "Now the gun is safe." So that's just funny to me. But yeah, Bad Boys 2.
Nice. I was just interested to see what people thought about that one.
It's too long. It's Bay with his camera angles, explosions, flashy.
It's everything. Even when you talked about, like earlier, when you talked about the, like all his movies have like the turning shot, like where they go from the bottom to top. To me, Bad Boys 2 is the classic one where shit just got real. And then to me, that's the classic one. Like, damn.
You know,
they need to focus on what was so good about the first one, in my opinion. The comedy is one thing. The friendship between, Martin and Will, that's why I turn to that movie again and again. It's not like, I love the explosions in that, or, I love this one car chase, although they are good in the first movie. It's just like, come on, why do you focus on the wrong... And the third sequel, I know that's not Bay, but again, it's just like,
he's in it, though.
What's great.
I think with Michael Bay, like with anything, it's like he doubles down. It doesn't matter if it works or not.
Yeah.
It's like he doubles down with every sequel. Like the Transformers, again, especially, it was like the first one, like what worked, what didn't work, it didn't matter. He doubled down.
Yes.
He just threw it in there,
What worked, what didn't work, it didn't matter. It's like, make it longer, make it louder, make the comedy more ridiculous.
Make it dumber,
dumber. Make the women younger. It's like you said, like make them younger, make them more naked. Like it.
Make them more naked.
It like sometimes it's better than other. Like I think Bad Boys 1 and 2, it's better than Transformers 1 and 2.
Well, Transformers 2 is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Although Randy's description kind of makes me want to see it again. What did you? What are those things we were talking
Let's pull
about?
it up.
The mother gets high or something?
She had pot brownies or something?
Let's pull it
up. Wait a minute. Maybe I should try this again.
That was so cringe.
Randy sold me on it, even though it was a negative review.
You quoted, you dropped a comment on my review quoting what I said. I said, pot brownies, dog sex, humor that doesn't land, John Turturro ass shot, over-the-top acting from most of the humans, the hanging robot balls. Ha 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 ha. What? Should I rewatch this?
Robot testicles. They're like cannonballs or some shit on chains.
Yes,
you made it sound good, Randy, when you weren't supposed to.
I am
That's what I do, man.
Scrotum, right? It's talking into the. Oh my God! It's just why. And then, though.
That's really funny.
Any other director, writer, anybody else on the planet, if they were doing the thing like the mom comes to the college and she goes, "Ooh, I found these brownies."
You could have cut all of that out.
Anybody else would have ended with that. They would have been like, "Oh, funny stuff." And instead, there's a whole fucking thing of her like laying on the floor and like them pulling her like, "Mom, get up," and she's doing all this crazy shit. I'm like, what does this add other than to piss me off? Like, what does this add?
Absolutely nothing.
Like he just wanted to have the parents and couldn't think.
Oh man, he's probably laughing uncontrollably behind the scenes like he's watching fucking Wedding Crashers.
And I heard that like Jonah Hill was supposed to play the roommate dude.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I'm like, I know he read the script and was like, "Fuck this!"
Pass.
Like, this.
I hope he did.
I'll go make funny people.
Thing is, my one positive remark about the second one is that I did like that roommate guy. So I don't know if he kept acting, but I remember.
Yeah, he's still around.
Is it like Ramon Rodriguez or somebody?
Yeah, I was like, I like this. This is the one thing I like.
He was in How to Make It in America. He was in Godzilla.
Okay, good. I hope he's doing well.
Speed. I remember that.
I think he was in Iron Fist.
I'm gonna give this movie another chance someday. I shouldn't, but
I remember reading somewhere that like T.J. Miller was in Age of Extinction, and like he and Michael Bay didn't get, like, Michael Bay was like, you haven't said anything funny, and he was like, you didn't write anything funny. He was like, we're not laughing.
Wow.
I remember reading somewhere
not everyone's gonna do what Will Smith and Martin Lawrence did. Like, that's not really their job. They just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah, and what happened? He blew his ass up. That's funny.
Right.
That's just like the only character that was like kind of funny in the movie. It was like you got rid of him.
Fucking kill him off.
Oh, spoiler alert again about the island. Like, Steve Buscemi's like the best part of it. Like,
oh yeah,
you should have let him have more of an arc. His part was way too short.
Right.
Way too short.
But oh man, good old.
Something was all up in the trailers for the island, and spoiler. He's not in the movie very long.
Yeah. But his parts were so good. Like, it all worked. That cast all really worked. Yeah. Like his movies normally have. Like Randy said. Like his casts are good.
You know what movie doesn't work? I keep coming back to it because we just aren't talking about it. Is Pearl Harbor.
Right.
That's probably the one that we're not really talking about.
Damn, we
Titanic in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said it a lot.
Now, Michael Bay should have just. Man, what do you start with Pearl Harbor?
Hey, baby.
It's the blatant. Like, okay, for those of you who've seen the movie, have you seen the movie, Melissa?
Honestly, you couldn't pay me to remember if I've seen it or not.
Yeah, understandable. And it's just, I don't know, these writers. It's like Michael Bay hires writers just to get me to my action scene. Please. And Ben Affleck, it's people, you try to make stuff plausible. Like the way people talk, like don't wait another 6 months before I see you again. There's a line in Pearl Harbor that goes just like that. Nobody talks like that.
6 months later.
Like, don't let it be that long before I see you. Like, all right, people don't for that long of a period don't be that precise for the most part. It's just like they say they showed us 6 months later. Then it's like a 2-minute conversation. Don't let me wait another 6 months. Just like treating the audience like it's stupid, but everything leading up, the actual is messed up. The Pearl Harbor attack is
pretty great,
wonderful filmmaking.
Yeah,
but this is what Michael Bay does. He could probably sleep and do that shit.
But even then, like I remember, I was young when Pearl Harbor came out. It came out like 2001. And
no, you were
like 11, 12. And so even then, like being young and dumb, I was still like, the bombs are dropping or whatever. Ben Affleck gets on the thing and he's like, what's going on? He said, I think World War III just started, or World War II just started. And I'm like, I was at the time, I was like, nobody talks like that. Like, nobody said those words at Pearl Harbor.
And nobody would have said that because at the moment, World War I was not referred to as World War I.
Yeah, it wasn't World War I.
There's a famous tweet like that. I don't know if it's drill or whatever, but someone knocks on someone's bathroom door and they're like, come on, get out of here, 9/11 is happening. Like, that's a joke. Like, nobody would ever reference it as 9/11 on that day, right? Like, and that's making fun of things like Pearl Harbor, like that movie.
No, 9/11 is happening. That's so.
Yes,
that's a classic tweet. Like, everyone knows.
Like, I gotta find that.
What was it?
I'll show it to you guys. Yeah.
No man,
where they're sitting on the couch smoking pot, and he was like, "Man, I haven't bought from that guy since 9/11." I remember because I was like, "Oh shit, 9/11! I gotta get high."
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's just so much to break down about that movie. Just and it goes to it's the one of you all just said it. It's the Titanic formula.
Yeah, it was Michael Bay. It was like James Cameron directed a bunch of big action movies, and then Titanic. Michael Bay was like, I could do that. And like being like the director of Bad Boys, The Rock, and Armageddon, that's pretty okay. Like that's like, well, those movies were hits, and they were all good.
I even kind of think Armageddon is kind of Titanic-ish.
Yeah, you can actually,
filmmaking.
But what's what
would, kind of a fun rap.
And that's great. So what between the like you said, the parallels between Cameron and Bay leading up to these movies, but one is, you know, for the most part great, and the other one is
and the other one
like what went wrong with Bay's Bay's Pearl Harbor.
His vision is just more limited than Cameron's. It's more.
And I think you hit it right on the head. Vision, because execution, obviously he can do it. Yeah, and the war scenes in Pearl Harbor, like I just mentioned, are great. But like characters, I think he's just
a story that I gave even the slightest shit about.
Yeah,
it would have been a good. Like they do the whole love triangle thing, and they throw it away so fast. It's like, so I had to fucking suffer through this fucking acting just for them to throw it away as soon as Pearl Harbor starts happening. Like it's literally like the next morning. Like they get the fight
happening.
And he's like, "Oh shit, let's go!" And then like, spoiler alert, one of them dies, and then it's like,
right.
It's 21 years old.
It's like, oh,
you could have just like I like that he included a real life character that Cuba Gooding Jr. played.
Yeah, was, Cuba Gooding Jr. on the fucking turret gun or whatever.
And that's based on a real life character who actually did that thing, and that was a nice touch. But other than that, I would like dial back on the love triangle thing and just had what they were doing, probably cut a half hour leading up to the battle and focus more on the battle when you got to it. You still could have like everyday life, like without the 6 months crap.
Like a 13 hours style version of Pearl Harbor would have been better.
Yeah, put the whole movie within like a 24-hour period or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, everything, the approach, like the vision, the approach of it to the story didn't work. I mean, look at I keep going back to it. How could you just be so good at doing the one part and then so bad at the other? And you put it together.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it is Titanic. Like, we compare it to Titanic. It was like they even wanted Celine Dion to do that song.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, no, I already did one of those. So they gave it to her. And it was like, you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not total dog shit, but it's like on his lower half of the movies.
I have it second to last.
One thing I'll say, like, Armageddon, I think it's, like, very corny and kind of saccharine, but I do like how that movie handles emotion. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. And I definitely, like, was really buying into it a lot more than some of his others.
I think Armageddon, it's like a classic just because it was so popular. I feel like we think of it as a classic. But it's like when you ask a critic or something, like it was nominated for Razzies and all this stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm like, come on, man. Like if you look at
that is pretty damn good in that movie. And that's only a year after Good Will Hunting. Like, he's pretty good. I buy it.
It's exciting. I gave a shit about the characters. Like,
and there's a lot of good actors in there. I forgot Owen Wilson was in there. I had no idea. Like, I forgot.
Yeah, because a lot of the actors, spoiler.
Well,
a lot of actors didn't make it to the actual landing on and Owen Wilson was one of them.
Which again I hate, but whatever. I mean, it's realistic. It's realistic, I guess.
Because I like Owen Wilson, his line about we're not even into outer space. No, I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
You just had a lot of actors, like they all played a character with like a specific, like Will Patton had his whole thing with his family and the cowboy guy. Steve Buscemi.
It's like a true ensemble movie.
Yeah, and I'm like, Pearl Harbor didn't really do that. There's a lot of people in Pearl Harbor, like Michael Shannon is one of the guys in Pearl Harbor. And I couldn't tell you who he played or why he was there. Or Alec Baldwin, I don't remember his. Like Tom Sizemore is in every war movie.
Yeah, right.
Pearl Harbor. I don't remember what he did in Pearl Harbor at all.
That's funny.
All right. Seems like a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah. But one more thing. I'm sorry, we got to mention
Really?
this. I'm sorry. So Armageddon, going back to the DVD commentary, Ben Affleck and Michael Bay are on the commentary, and you can tell they're good friends. So Ben Affleck is asking Michael Bay, like, he's basically tearing the movie apart, Armageddon, and he's saying, "Why did you just have the astronauts train to become drillers?" And Michael Bay's like, "Shut the fuck up, Ben."
That's good. That's a classic. That's a classic.
I don't break character till I done the DVD commentary.
No, but that's it.
That's why for so many years I just kind of looked down on that movie, and I didn't really. And then when I watched it last week, I was like, oh, okay. No wonder people watch this all the time, like as a comfort movie.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Again, song was everywhere.
Let us know your favorite and least favorite Michael Bay movies. What y'all think is underrated? What y'all like? Like, why did he make that? That shit sucks. I don't know what we doing in 2 weeks. I'll come up with something. Strictly Podcast. Ayo, blimey, Hermione, here come more of Randy Little rhyming. The battle against bitches and some bold-faced lying. Not fit for the job and acting like a punk bitch. Ignoring how it works, making changes like Dolores Umbridge. Everything, everywhere, all at once like Michelle. Yo, I'ma kick your fucking ass till I fracture a tailbone. I go day by day, honestly feeling worthless, but surviving a rollover and cancer got me needing to find a purpose. These lames allergic to the effort, but I'ma put my grind in. Showing a couple clips is proof of how my time spent. My flavor rubs them wrong. They bitter how I murder this track. They stay trying to slander my name like I was Sirius Black. Do what I gotta do, never worry about the stakes. I might resemble Harry Potter, but I ain't talking to you snakes. Parcel mouth, I get to spit and then I open up the chamber. When I spit it, it's a banger. All love on Easter to the Savior. And chill until the next episode.